What's up, YouTube? Today I'll be teaching you how to change the fill valve in the back of your toilet. Just in case your toilet has just been constantly running, constantly making noise and getting on your nerves. I even heard about people thinking that the fill valve was actually making the bill go up as far as the water bill. This is your fill valve right here. All of that. And that's the flapper. You don't have to change that all the time. I'm just gonna show you how to change the fill valve. This is what you'll need. This is a replacement fill valve. You can grab one of these from Home Depot, around $16 to $18. Black trash bag and a pair of gloves. You can use these if you want. If you don't want to use them, that's cool too. Okay, the first thing you want to do is get you a black plastic bag. Heavy duty bag is even better. That's gonna keep the water from dripping onto the floor. Once you you see this gray piece right here, once you unscrew that piece, then it's gonna be water that's gonna come down. A lot of times you can use a trash can or a small bucket to catch the water. Even if you use one, you still want to put some kind of barrier underneath, which would be something like a plastic bag. You can actually have a few towels handy too as well. That'll probably come in handy. Today I won't be using the trash can because of where the hose and everything is, and the shutoff valve is very close to the toilet. Usually your valve will be farther to the left. Okay, so we're back inside the back of the toilet with the fill valve. You see, this is the water line. This is usually where your water is always standing once you flush the toilet and it fills all the way up. I'm flushing it to get out as much water as I can before we release the piece that I showed you earlier to let the water out, because you have to let the water out before you replace the fill valve. With the bag that you place on the side of the toilet, you want to try to put it in like the shape of kind of like a bucket with a bottom base, and that'll catch the water and kind of keep it kind of even when it comes down and everything. Probably make it a little bit easier on you. But like I say, if your shutoff valve is closer to the left, you'll have more room to use a bucket to catch the water. So you want to twist this piece right here. Like I told y'all in the last video, anytime you want to twist something off, you'll always twist it to the left. Anytime you want to make something tight, you always twist it to the right. Some people say tighty righty, lefty loosey. So it's lefty loosey right now. So I'm gonna get that out of the way. Okay, so we got that off. Boom. Okay, and it's a nut on the bottom of that. If you see it on the top of that stem, it's a nut. You have to loosen that nut. This one right here. You have to loosen that nut. And sometimes you can loosen that nut with your bare hand, and sometimes you can use something like a wrench, or some pliers or something like that. That's what we'll be using. Sometimes it's not as tight, and sometimes it's actually very hard. But it would actually depend on the exact situation for your situation about how tight it is. This one is a little bit tight, but once I use the pliers, it loosened up a good bit. Make sure to keep the bag in a position where it can catch as much of the water as it can. If you get a little bit of water on the floor, don't worry about it. That happens a lot, so it's no big deal. Keep twisting my arm out in the way. And it's not that much water. It may look like a lot of water, but it's really not that much. You see, once we cut off the shutoff valve and flush the toilet, we got rid of a lot of water, so everything is all good. Yeah, so we're gonna try to catch as much of that water as we can. It's gonna take a few seconds. It's gonna take a few seconds to get all the water, collect everything, because you want the base of the toilet tank to be close to dry as you completely can get it, because once you take the old fill valve out, you want to have all the water gone. So we got that taken care of. So boom. All right, now go ahead and twist this off the rest of the way. It shouldn't take too long after that. Boom, we got it. All right. And that's the old one that you saw. So now we're back in the back of the tank. This hose right here is kind of like regulating the water coming back up and how much it's gonna fill back up when the water do come back after you flush it. So we'll take the old fill valve out, you see it? Get that on out the way. And this will be the new fill valve that we'll be installing today. Installation on this fill valve is very simple, it's straight to the point. At the top of it, you see right here, this is letting you know where your water level should be. So where it says water level and you see this gap, that's where water is gonna go in to fill it. So basically you wanna get this water line close to your water line. Get that close to your water line. You can take it a little bit under your water line and it'll actively make it fill back up as it should. This level right here is basically you adjusting the height to get to your water line. Everybody's water line is at a different level, so that's why this universal fill valve has different levels that you can adjust. I adjusted mine to my fill line the same way that you would do. You'll put it in and you'll test it, and you'll go up and down. And on this piece right here, it actually shows a water level right here, so I'm kind of lining it up with it. Every one of these would not have a description right there. It would not have this, so you just have to go off the water line. It won't leave a dark line like this. Some toilets will, some won't, but you'll be able to basically see the water line inside of the tank once you cleared all of the water out. All right, so this is the old piece, the old nut that we had on the old fill valve, but it's the same thing, the same method, same process. And this is the new nut that we have on the new fill valve. And it's actually easier to put back on. If you get this universal fill valve, then you'll have a nut just like this. And it'll have kind of like some small little levers where you can kind of like grip it real easily. So you can tighten it up. You won't actually need pliers or anything to tighten this up. And remember, if you want it tight, turn to the right. And while you turning this, keep one hand on the fill valve so it won't kind of shift around, because it'll make the level that you have it at, it'll jump up, and then you'll be off, and you'll have to redo it all over again. You don't want to do that. So this is the water line to the shutoff valve. You want to go ahead and readjust this and put it right back on to the fill valve, the same way that you took it off. Once again, if you want it tight, just turn it to the right. Got that on now. Get it on now tight. Yeah, get it on there as tight as you can, but you don't have to try to break a fingernail while you're doing it. Like, you should be able to kind of gauge the fact that it's tight enough on there. But just make sure it's lined up even when you get it on. You don't want any kind of leaking or nothing like that. That's a whole nother job. Okay, so now this piece right here, you're gonna connect this to the fill valve. Right at this spot right here. You can kind of twist it on. In the beginning, it may be a little tight, but as you play with it, it'll slip right on. See, this little small hose is kind of long. You really want to kind of line up to this part right here so the water can drain inside of the, you know, when I took it out, the hose went through that little hole, but I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna flip it on in and set it just like that. So if the inside of the back of your toilet look like this, then you can just do this, and I promise it'll be fine. So the next thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and cut the water back on. So now this time, instead of turning it to the right, you'll actually be turning it to the left. And now you can see the water starting to fill back up. And what you want to happen is you want the water to fill all the way back up and come right back to the water line. All the way up to the water line. And you'll know that you did it right. You see what I'm saying? So once you see it, that it came all the way up to the water line, you should hear the toilet stop running. It should run no more because it's at that line. You did it right. It's perfect. Voila. Boom. You got it. You see? The water line is right at the other water line. It's not that hard. I promise. I got you. Thank y'all for watching. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to drop more videos. Peace.